Back time right now is 7:44. Wish TV is your home for high school football, and it's the final week of the regular season. I can't believe it, but we're joined now with Greg Rakestraw from the ISC Broadcast Network to break down our game of the week. And Greg, good morning.
Good morning.
I just can't believe that we're here at the final regular season week.
We say this each and every year that the season flies by.
Yeah.
If you include the state championships, there's 15 weeks of high school football in the state of Indiana. So this is week number 9. There's still 6 weeks of action left to go, but amazingly for these teams across the state, half of them know that after this week they have 1 game left to play.
Wow.
It flies by every year.
Okay, so let's talk about tomorrow's game. Pike traveling to Lawrence North.
Yeah, and Pike and LN have both been teams historically that have been kind of towards the back half of the league. LN has changed that over the course of the last few years. You see Pike highlights here. Pike played North Central last week and got their first conference victory of the season, second win overall. This is a Pike team that, again, you put them in almost any other league, they're much closer to the top of the standings. The competition, the MIC, has been this strong. The other thing that these teams, uniquely have this week is they know what their postseason path is going to be. The selection show, the pairing show was last Sunday. Pike plays another team in Avon that picked up a kind of a rare win this year last week. So both teams go, hey, we've got a shot. We've got positive motivation. So I guarantee you for Coach Brevard's team at Pike, this is the best they have felt all season long. As far as Lawrence North is concerned, LN really battled hard against the 3-time defending state champs in Center Grove, led them for a good chunk of that game. CG kind of pulled away late to win that game 43-26, but I think Pat Mallory's team is infused with confidence. They're getting ready for their big rival in Lawrence Central in the postseason in a couple weeks. I think this should be a really good game tomorrow night.
And what are some other keys that we should be on the lookout for with this game?
I think for Lawrence North, they've kind of gone back and forth between 2 quarterbacks. Montez Jones is a kid that started each of the last 2 years. They moved him to kind of a rover position where he played kind of both sides of the ball. About the midway point of the season, they decided to put him back to the quarterback spot, and seemingly their offense has taken off. Again, 26 against Center Grove is impressive. They put up 48 in the first half against Warren Central. So for LN, I think it's about kind of maintaining momentum going into the postseason. And for Pike, it's about continuing to build confidence. They know if they can hang with this LN team tomorrow night, they've got a shot to beat Avon in a couple of weeks in the postseason.
Okay, and any other games that you're watching for this weekend before we leave?
There are some big ones. First of all, in the HCC, you've got Brownsburg and Hamilton Southeastern that are playing for that league championship. Brownsburg, BD, and Center Grove have kind of established themselves as the top 3 teams in terms of the 6A classification. And speaking of those Trojans, they get Cathedral, and this has been kind of the game of the regular season the last couple of years. It's still a solid game. I don't think there's the same kind of statewide ramifications with that game this year, but no, those are 2 huge games. Again, the thing that is unique for the teams in both 5A and 6A, they get a week off next week before the postseason starts for them, which means we kind of have a bit of a different matchup next week. So I can kind of share with you and announce that our game next week will be Greenfield Central hosting Pendleton Heights in 4A. So we'll look forward to talking about that next Friday on the show. All
right, Greg. Well, as always, thank you for joining us. And don't forget, you can catch every play of our game of the week live on our sister station, MyNDTV 23, starting at 7. And you can switch over to Wish TV for complete highlights on The Zone.